My video for July the 1st, 2019 is video number 3133. The title is Polarity, Deception, and Inversion of Values. As one who has continually questioned things all my life, I wonder how much I have been deceived. Of course, I am no longer in the place I was when I had my own radio program called Be Not Deceived. Yes, I've been an explorer of ideas since early in my life, often called a heretic or some other derogatory name by those who embrace a particular belief system. So be it. While I've never given up on the idea that there simply has to be a first cause, I must ask the question, why would a loving creator allow eons of deception that is so hurtful to so many all over the planet? I still try to make sense out of observable situations that frankly do not make sense. Were we created genderless in the beginning? Are we capable of actually loving one another? Or are we stuck in a dire situation where our egos simply cannot see the invisible connection that would enable us to care for others? For me, my life is still a search for meaning. And hopefully I will learn that love is really the highest value. We must find a way to end the polarization that seems totally insane to me. I continue to listen to the series, The Divine Secret Garden by John Pinella. And of course, that series challenges many of the precepts and concepts that I was taught from my early childhood. As I said, I've always been an explorer. I started thinking outside the box even as a teenager, but it was still a Christian box at that time, and it gradually expanded into other religions. But I've never given up on the idea that there has to be a first cause, a creator. I can't be an atheist and say there is no first cause. To me, if there's no first cause, it would mean there's no meaning. And I would have a hard time trying to even keep myself healthy as I do if I really believed that there was no purpose, no meaning for the whole thing, that it was all just, just a freak accident. I have an agenda. The agenda has been to help play a role in bringing the kingdom of heaven to earth. What would the kingdom of heaven look like? Well, for one thing, we'd learn to listen to each other. We'd learn to build bridges to others. Now, I watched a video not very long ago now that someone sent me about this lady who was born in Hollywood, California, and I've mentioned her in a previous video, of course, and she's now in India, but she's working with the United Nations and other trying to build bridges and connecting people so that we can start getting on the same page and loving one another, or at least getting to the place where we're not at constant war. But of course, war has been a profit game for those that have controlled the monetary system of the world, which is the means of control. But there's also been tremendous polarization where male and female can't get along with each other, where opposites seem to clash instead of harmonize. Now, polarity to me is a normal process, but some might suggest that no, in the beginning, especially humanity, we were created not with a male or female outlook, but we were genderless and had masculine and feminine characteristics that were built in. Well, I still believe that masculine and feminine characteristics are within each of us, regardless of our sex or our sexual orientation, regardless of the things that have been used to divide us. Everything has created a system where there does not seem to be values, or the value is placed on something that is a misplacement of values. money is not a value. When are we going to understand that? And control is not a value. It's a blinding characteristic where we think that our way has to be the only way and that we have to dominate others in order to feel a sense of achievement and a sense of worthiness or whatever. But we don't. I mean, I get my satisfaction when I can finally connect with people that are different than me and open conversations. I mean, I'm going to be speaking in a week from today. I'm going to be speaking on the book of Job, which is a very enigmatic book as I go back and listen to it over and over again. And again, as I go through this divine secret garden thing with John Pinella, I mean, I'm re-examining everything. I wish everybody had the time and would take the time to re-examine the things that we think are the right way. It's not about right or wrong. It's about listening and loving. I know I probably sound like a broken record to those that listen every day, because this is where I am right now at this stage in my life. I'm trying to find a way to put together in my own mind, my own consciousness, how to make sense out of things that, quite frankly, don't make sense. I mean, I have people, as I've said in so many videos, that think that Trump is going to bring the answers. In listening to John Pinella earlier, I realized, Donald Trump is just playing another dark role. And so much of what we were taught as being biblical history just simply is not true. And there's all sorts of evidence for those that want to look for it to prove that the Bible, like every other religion, is riddled with lies. Now, is there truth in the Bhagavad Gita? Or is there truth in the Bible? Is there truth in the Quran? Yeah, there's truth in a lot of things. There's truth in some of Shakespeare's works. There's truth in books that are written by atheists or agnostics. There's truth that we can find, nuggets of truth that are everywhere we look, but they're always concealed or camouflaged so that they don't appear as the important value. And we've got to get back to primary values. And again, the most important one is to love, but we have to start where we're at. If we think we're right and others are wrong, we're already on a foundation, on a platform that cannot find a reconciliation. And we will stay in the insanity of butting heads with other people, either figuratively or in many cases literally through war and other means that are active in our society, the legal system and everything else. We've got to get out of it. That's what I'm trying to say. That's the challenge, that I don't just have it by myself. Don't you see that you have that challenge too? Aren't we all challenged to begin to see things more clearly? And we can only do that by stepping outside of our comfort zone and being willing to look at people whose ideas are different than ours and explore those ideas and hopefully come up with some way where this deception of polarization can be brought to an end in our minds and in our lives, so that we can literally find some of the ideals that humanity has had for a long time but not been able to achieve. Anyway, folks, I appreciate you listening, and namaste.